Hello and welcome to the Abundantly Favored podcast, where faith meets mindset, gratitude fuels growth, and your words shape your world. We're your hosts, Jenny and Shelley, two sisters, wives, moms, and lifelong encouragers who believe God has richly equipped you to live an abundant life.
Each week, we dive into real conversations about mindset, faith, purpose, and the power of speaking life. Whether you're in the car, on a walk, or curled up with coffee, consider this your weekly dose of encouragement.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. We are so excited about this podcast episode, and we're just going to dive in with a Bible verse. So our Bible verse for this week is from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. And we're kind of talking about the season of summer today.
Woo-hoo. Who
Yes.
doesn't love summer?
Oh my gosh, I love summer.
I do
So
too.
it's crazy because every summer we unintentionally say yes to some things and accidentally say yes to stress too. So what we want to give you today is our yes list.
Yes, 10 things we're saying yes to this summer. And maybe you want to join us in these things, or maybe you
Yeah.
will create your own list of 10 things. But this is what we are going to say yes to this summer.
Yes.
Here we
So
go.
the first thing we are saying yes to is slower mornings. Now, before you think to yourself, seriously, that cannot happen for me, let me give you some ideas because it really can happen for everyone. So, maybe you're going to say yes to not touching your phone the first thing in the morning. I'm guilty, definitely guilty of that. So I'm kind of excited to just not do that. And I don't know, maybe I will set a timer on my watch and have it go off when I can touch my phone. I don't know. Maybe that's an
Or do you
idea.
plug your phone into like a different room, or is it right beside you?
No, it is right beside me. And with 3 kids living out of state, I'm very much like, just in case they need me,
I know.
which,
I'm the
what are
same
the
way.
chances?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm the
yes.
same way.
So another idea is yes to waking up with intention. I know the nights where I go to bed knowing what's going to happen the next day, that makes it so much easier to wake up with intention. So going along with waking up with intention, it's being organized before you go to bed, knowing what that intention is for the day. Yes to scripture before stress. So if you're not touching your phone right away in the morning, it really will make it pretty seamless to just do my devotional right away in the morning. And speaking of devotional, we do have a pretty good one if you guys need a new one. So,
Hey, it's right back here on my
yeah,
shelf. What do you think? How about that?
yes. For those listening, Shelly has it right behind her. Our Wait, Did I Pray That devotional, which is available on Amazon. So, so by not touching my phone first thing in the morning, it will be just routine, right? To do my devotional. And then the other thing
Exactly.
is, yes, maybe you want to say yes to giving yourself a little bit more breathing room in the morning. I know mornings can be stressful, and just give yourself permission to breathe. Maybe it's thank you, God, for waking me up this morning and making this be a fabulous start to the morning.
Right. I love that. So,
Yes.
the second thing we are going to say yes to this summer is protecting our peace.
Mm,
So, by that, what do we mean? Basically, things like this: start saying yes to things that actually bring us joy. That's what we're going to do. And
yes.
along with that, it's being able to say no to things that don't bring us joy without guilt. Like
Oh my
sometimes I
gosh.
think as wives, mothers, we feel like we have to
Mhm.
say yes to everything. We have to volunteer for everything. We have to. And yes, it's good to do that, to be when you're a part of a community, to help out. But there are a lot of things that we actually I talked about this in the book with that sometimes we say yes to things that really were not meant for us, that God did not have really want us doing, and it robs someone else who he had it in store for from being able to do it. So think about it that way. If you feel guilty to say no, like no, I can't, I'm sorry, I can't do blah blah blah. Well, maybe it wasn't designed for you. If you've taken it to
Mhm.
God in prayer, don't feel guilty. Like if you don't feel moved to do it, then say no. That'll bring you peace.
Yes.
Another way to bring you peace, we are going to say yes to protecting our minds from constant negativity.
Mm.
Sometimes, if you feel like you're somebody that has more time in the summer, they've always say like an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Have you ever heard that? And I might be
Mm.
butchering that. Maybe it's idle hands. I don't know. But basically, when you have more time on your hands, or maybe you're finding yourself driving kids to different sporting things or whatever in the summer, different programs, you know, that's when you have time for your thoughts to come into your mind. So protect your minds from constant negativity. Say yes to that. Um, this one I love too. Say yes to not reacting to everything immediately. Like
Ooh.
how many of us, me, sometimes I have this knee jerk reaction if something doesn't go my way or something doesn't go as planned. And just like chill out for a second and just protect your peace by like letting that whatever happened that wasn't supposed to happen kind of fly by you and keep your emotions in check. So say yes to not reacting to everything immediately. And also say yes to not carrying things that God never asked us to carry. That goes back to
Mm.
the being able to say no without guilt. Like bring it to God. If someone is wanting you to like take on this huge project this summer and you're like in your gut going, "Ugh, no, take it to God. God, am I hesitant of this because I just don't know how to do it and you really want me to? Or is this really not for me?" And then be at peace with saying yes or no when you've kind of consulted with him.
I love that. That is so good. Okay, number 3, I love this one too. So number 3 is yes to being present. So we're going to say yes to being present.
Mhm.
Gosh, that is such a good one. So examples for that you could do is say yes to enjoying the people right in front of us. Summer, for some people, maybe it's a super busy time and our minds can be distracted, but we need to really be present with the people that are right in front of us and take it all in, like find out more about them or whatever that may be, but just be present,
Mhm.
seeing how their day
Mhm.
was. Another idea is saying yes to being present is yes to noticing summer instead of rushing through it.
Oh.
So we all know,
Yeah.
you've probably heard too, like once you hit 4th of July, the summer's over. No, it's not. Enjoy every moment. So don't rush through it. Just notice summer. There's so much beauty in summer and
Mhm.
just really, really notice it. Another idea is yes to being mentally present, not just physically there. So that kind of ties into the first thing, enjoying the people right in front of us. But really, we've all been in front of people, or I hope you have, where it's like, oh my gosh, they make me feel like I am the only person in the room. And that feels
Mhm.
so good. Frankie, my dear friend Frankie, was so good at that. She was
Yes.
just always so present and her eye contact and she just truly wanted to be present. And she was such
Mhm.
a good example for sure. Another thing is yes to hearing people instead of half listening. These all kind of go hand in hand, right? But you know, I heard it said recently, like if you're having a conversation with someone, that eye contact is so important. Maybe you're in a room full of people and you're talking to someone, but they keep looking over your shoulder. I mean, that's really distracting. So
Mhm.
I really try to be present, and that's how you truly can listen to them. Just keep that eye contact as well. And then the other thing is savor ordinary life, right? Just being present. Be
Yes.
present where you are. Like, it doesn't matter what vacation the neighbors are going on. Just be present where you are in that ordinary life because that can be so fun. Maybe it's lemonade on the porch, right?
Ooh, that sounds good.
Is
That
that a
sounds
Midwest
good.
thing or what?
That is a mid and making some s'mores, like, at night,
Oh,
that is and if you don't have, like, a fire pit or a little fire thing literally, my kids used to do it over, like, our stovetop. Like, they'd roast a marshmallow in the winter, like, when they wanted a s'more. So,
uh-huh.
you can make it fun.
I may have done that in college with my good friend Kate at St.
Oh.
Stephen's, the big
Oh,
kitchen.
yeah.
We would
Yes.
get busted all the time roasting marshmallows over their gas stove.
You
It was the
can
best.
okay, if you really want the lazy man s'more, now we're dealing out recipes here, Jenny. The lazy man s'more for a crowd and in the winter or whenever is you take a cookie sheet, you probably
Oh,
put parchment paper down or whatever, and you put down graham crackers, you
uh-huh.
put down chocolate, and then if you want, you can put that in the oven for a little bit, melt it, but then you stack the big or big marshmallows on top of it. You have to watch it until it like browns a little bit and it gets and then you slap on the top
Oh,
graham cracker. Oh, they're so good.
okay.
And they're like
Do you
perfectly done.
do you just bake it or do you broil them to get them a little
I think you
toasty?
broil it. I think you broil it, but you wanna get the
Mm,
chocolate going a little bit first, but
okay.
you really have to watch it, and then they get brown, kinda that crispy brown, and then perfect s'mores every time. Oh,
Stay
yeah.
tuned next time for more recipes with Jenny and
Coming
Shelley.
soon, our cookbook of all the things you shouldn't be eating, but enjoy once in a while.
Love it.
Wait, did I bake that? We can make a cookbook. Hey,
Oh my gosh,
maybe.
that is happening.
You heard it here first, everyone. Or wait,
Woo!
did I cook that? Jenny's the cook, I'm the baker. So,
True. Okay.
yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, I can't wait for that.
This goes to the next thing we are saying yes to perfectly. We're going to say yes to laughing more.
And
Like,
that's
you know
number
what?
4.
That is
Number
number
4.
4. Thank you. Yes
Yes.
to laughing more. Yes to more fun and fewer expectations. We take life way I do anyway, life way too seriously at times. And sometimes you just have to, say yes to laughter and let yourselves just be lighthearted kids again and see the humor in things that maybe would normally annoy you. Like the spilled milk that I used to do as a kid all the time. That kind of stuff. Now, I know when you're in the thick of parenting, like that stuff just does not seem funny, but sometimes you just have to let stuff go, right? And
Yes.
along with the saying yes to laughter is just yes to not overcomplicating everything. Just go with the flow. Summer is kind of the hang loose attitude of just go with the flow. Whatever comes, comes. And also say yes to making memories instead of perfect plans. Like
Mm,
whatever happens, you're baking our s'mores in the oven. That's something different. Say yes to embracing the imperfect moments and just laughing them off. Like just realizing, God has a sense of humor, I really do believe, because some of the things that happens are just too funny to, not you got to know he's just chuckling along with us.
I love it. I think we do a pretty good job at laughing. I'm just going to say
I think
that.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 5, yes to prayer walks. I know I love walking in the summer in the mornings, and I'm going to be more intentional about making them prayer walks. So some
Mhm.
ideas, yes to moving our bodies while calming our thoughts, right? Morning is an awesome time to, or whenever you are able to walk. Walking is so
Right.
important. So just calming our thoughts. I know a lot of times I do have earbuds in when I'm listening, but I'm going to not do that some of the time because it's in those quiet moments we hear God, right?
Mhm.
So, yes to getting outside when our minds feel cluttered. So, yes, we're simplifying summer, but we really need some strategies too when it is like, oh my gosh, this is not simple, it's cluttered. So just go for a walk. Notice all of
Mhm.
God's nature around you. I live in an area where I can kind of cut back into this really cool neighborhood that has beautiful trees and flowers and everything, and it's really fun to walk through. So yeah, definitely
Mhm.
that. Another
Yeah.
idea is yes to praying while we walk instead of spiraling while we sit, right? So that kind of goes
Ooh, I
right?
love that.
Kind of goes hand in
Yes.
hand with getting outside when our minds feel cluttered. So if things aren't going the way you want them to, it's easy to spiral, right?
Mhm.
Get
And
out
they
of the
do
house.
yeah. I was gonna say, they do say that walking, that especially if you're feeling depressed or down or whatever, has like gives you such a dopamine, I think it is, boost.
Mhm,
And so, yeah,
mhm.
Jenny, you're right on the money. I love that. Say that again about the
Okay,
spiral or
one
the
more time.
yeah,
Yes. Yes to praying while we walk instead of spiraling while we sit.
that needs to be a
Mm.
t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Maybe
Wait,
not.
did we
But
print that?
yes, that's so good. Yeah. We
Yes. Um, another idea, yes to letting God meet us in the simple moments. How simple is it
Mhm.
when you're out enjoying nature on a walk? For sure. And then yes to unplugging long enough to hear God more clearly. So that goes back to the what I said, keeping my earbuds out and just being still in our mind so we can hear God more clearly.
Yes, because like you said, Jen, he speaks to us in the quiet. He
Yes.
does. I like that idea. Because when I go for walks too, I'm listening to something, a podcast, um, a book, music, something. But I do like the idea of just like listening to nature and listening to God. So I'm going to try that too,
Mm-hmm.
Jen. That's a
Yeah.
good advice. All right,
Thank
number
you.
6, we are going to be saying yes to healthier thoughts. So what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes to catching negative thoughts sooner. So we always say, you have to stop. If you feel that negative thought coming in, just stop. Literally saying
Mm-hmm.
the word stop, knock it off can do wonders. Yes to noticing when what we repeatedly say about ourselves. Is it life-giving or is it soul-sucking? Is a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this what God would
Yes.
say about you, right? So in relation to that, like less self-criticism. Okay, this is not the summer to beat yourself up and say, "Oh, I didn't get to the weight I wanted to get to before swimsuit season and oh, I feel." Forget about it. Like just go with, and do I sound like I'm Italian?
I
Forget
like,
about it.
yeah, exactly.
Forget about it, people. Just just go with it. Love yourself. Less self-criticism. Say yes to your thoughts that are rooted in truth. What does that mean? What does God say about you? How do you know what God says about you? Look in the Bible. All of these Bible verses that we share, and we've said this before, the Bible is like a love letter to us from God. And the Psalms are a great place to start. Just what is he saying about you? What is he, and focus on that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this last one in this category of saying yes to healthier thoughts is say yes to thoughts that bring peace instead of panic. When
Mm-hmm.
we and Jenny and I talked at a young Catholic professionals group in Chicago a few weeks ago, we talked a lot about how to recognize if you're feeling fear and panic about a situation, um, it's probably not from God.
Mm-hmm.
If you've gone to him and said, how do I handle this situation? I don't know what to do. Usually there's some kind of a peace when you have kind of a knowing of what your next step should be. But if you are feeling panic all the time and that anxiousness, we're saying no to anxious and panic and yes to peace.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. So, number 7, we are saying yes to meaningful conversations.
Hmm.
Kind of goes back to that being present part, right? So, some ideas for that is yes to asking people how they're really doing. I mean, we've all been in situations where we're passing someone. It's like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes we don't have time to actually stop and really chat with them, but I always feel, I don't know, it's awkward, right? When you do that and you say like you pass the person and you're saying it and you don't even stop and talk to them. So
Right.
just really asking people, how they're really doing. Because that's, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. No, really, how are you?
Right.
That
That
kind of gives,
second question really
yes, gives
helps.
people permission to, oh my gosh, yeah, please let me share this with you.
Hmm.
Um, Also, yes to connecting, more connection and less scrolling. We're
Mm.
guilty, right? Scrolling on our
Guilty.
phones.
Yes,
Put the
guilty.
phones down. I know we do a pretty good job, my hubby and I, because we're empty nesters. It's just us at the table, but
Hmm.
just putting our phone down to chat about the day. Dinner table's a great place. Just in general, right? Just put the phone down and have that connection where you're in front of people. Or I love it too when you see younger people, and sometimes the younger people will do it to us. When you see two people sitting by each other on their phones, it's like, are you texting each other? Like, come on.
It's
Which
like,
we're not, but
I'm right here, right?
I know, exactly. Another thing in the yes to meaningful conversations category, say yes to checking in on friends. If they pop in
Mm-hmm.
your brain, that's for a reason, right? Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
need to pray for them. And even like if you think about someone you haven't thought about for a while, or maybe it's someone you've thought about recently, send them a quick text, right? Just like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Let's get together. Or I just want to pray for you today. I hope you have a fabulous day. So yes to checking
That's
in on
awesome.
friends. And then also
Mm-hmm.
yes to talking about faith in everyday life. Shelly and I have talked about this too. Like, it doesn't have to be like when you're sharing God with people, it doesn't have to be a preachy moment. It's just how you live your life. So when you're thankful and, don't be afraid to say to someone, I'm praying for you today. Like, just bringing it into everyday life. And then also, yes, to more heart to heart moments. This can be so impactful for both people. Just when you're going back to like, how are you really doing? Like, take the
Mm-hmm.
time to have those heart to heart moments and just check in on people for sure.
Right, right. Okay. Number 8, we're going to say yes to less perfection pressure. What does that mean? Well,
Mm,
we are going to say yes to not making summer another thing that we have to master. Okay. I
mm.
have my 8,000 list of things I want to accomplish in what was probably like a 3-year project list that I'm like, I've got 3 months. I'm going to bust it out. You know, if you want to do that, great. But take time to enjoy the summer too, right? Under the same category, say yes to not comparing our real life to somebody else's social media. We have to remember
Mhm.
that is the highlight reel for people. And it's a fun place. I have people that are like, I do not do social media. It's just, I just don't like doing it. And I don't like seeing all that. For me, it's a great place to like, that's honestly where I learn about people who have passed away or people that I maybe kind of know. And then I realize, oh my gosh, their sister just passed away. Or it's a great way to connect that way. And I love to see what people are up to. It's kind of like a previous episode we talked about, I think just last week, where I had shared, if you are jealous of what someone else have, you'll never be able to have that because that's a mindset of lack. And so
Mhm.
I use social media as a way to connect. I know for some people it doesn't bring them that same kind of joy, and that's totally fine. But just remember what you're seeing on someone else's social media is their highlight reel and it's not real life. Like there's other stuff going on,
And Shelly,
right?
really, when you say that, it's it's being happy for them, right?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, being
And I love
happy
it
for
when
people.
people yeah, I love it when people brag on their kids because
I
we're
do
supposed to
too.
do that.
Yes,
So
if
I
we
love
don't
that.
do it, nobody else will. You know what I
That's
mean? Like
right.
I had a good friend of mine say that once. She's like, you know what? If I don't toot my own horn, own son's horn, nobody else is going to do it. And I want him to know I'm proud of him. And I was like, that is
Yes.
so beautiful. That is so
I just got
amazing.
chills.
Yes. Okay. So, also in the category of say yes to less perfection pressure, say yes to letting imperfect still be meaningful. Okay. And I'm going
Mm.
to kind of lump that with say yes to unfinished to do lists. You know how I said I have this I always do every summer. I'm going to do this, 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 this.
Uh-huh.
I've got to be okay with, and again, I go back to God. Okay. What do you want me to do today? What is on your to do list for me? And being okay with my maybe unfinished to do list because it wasn't necessarily what God needed me to do that day. And in addition to that, say yes to grace when things don't go as planned. That is, I think I heard somebody say the definition of frustration is when you have an idea of how something is supposed to go, and this is actually how it goes. And so it's that gap of it didn't meet your expectation, and that gap is frustration.
Oh,
So when
wow.
you yes, so if you just think about that when you're frustrated next time, why am I frustrated? Because I expected this and this is what happened. And
Mm.
so we're just going to have the grace to just go with the flow when things do not go as planned.
Yes, I love that. That is so good. So
Mm.
number 9, this one is huge for me. So say yes to rest without guilt.
Mm,
Mm.
yes.
So part of that is yes to slowing down before burnout forces us to. Like, I really struggle with that. Like, I tell people all the time, it's hard for me to sit down and read a book because I feel guilty that I should be doing something else.
Hmm.
Although I
Unless it's
will
our
tell
book.
you, I was just going to say that, Shelley. It's a quick
We're
read.
having
It really
fun.
is. Yeah,
It
yeah.
is. It is so quick.
So yeah, and yes to not needing to earn rest, right?
Mm,
I look at my hubby, Chris, and he is such a hard worker. And I know for him, he rarely sits down, but when he does, he's earned it, which is fine,
mhm,
right? But
mhm,
it's okay to not feel like you need to earn that rest. I'm
Right.
I'm also going to say yes to sitting on the patio doing absolutely nothing,
There you
right?
go.
And it might be
Yes.
the sun shining down, just, take a quick 10-minute little bask in the sun. I'm going to
Hmm.
do that.
Me
And also,
too.
yeah, because really when we do that, we're saying yes to giving our minds a break too.
Yes.
Just that's that quiet time again too, where we can hear God's voice and have him speaking
Hmm.
to us. So in the same line, yes to trusting God even when we're not being productive.
Right. Because, God did say to rest on the seventh day. And
Mhm.
that's something I'm trying to work on, but dang it, it's hard when I'm trying to get, work throughout the week and then you have things going on Saturday and you go to church on Sunday and it's like laundry has to get done sometime. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm trying to work on that too. But I like your idea, Jenny, of like, you don't have to wait until Sunday. You can take mini
Correct.
breaks throughout the day. I love
Yes, I
that.
was I was just going to say that. I'm like, that's all well and good on Sunday. Yes, I'll do that, but I'm talking about throughout the week.
Absolutely. Because then, yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. All right.
Yeah.
Our last one, number 10.
Drum
We are
roll.
going to drum roll. Should
I
we
don't know
have
if this
done
is in
10?
order.
10, we did this
Maybe we
wrong. We
should
should
have
have done
next
10
time.
down to 1.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
next time.
We're
I still want to do a
rookies.
drum
Okay.
roll.
Okay, do it. Jenny used to be a drummer
Can you
in
hear it?
high school.
I
There,
don't
do
know
it.
if you can even hear it.
Should I get out the flute? No, I'm not. All right, here we go. Top 10, number 10 thing we're saying yes to this summer. We are saying yes to becoming who God created us to be. Woo, right? We're going to say yes to becoming more confident in who God says we are. We're going to say yes to becoming rooted into our faith and our life instead of rushed. We're going to say yes to less comparison. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy. Say
Mhm.
yes to less comparison and more purpose. And we're going to say yes to becoming more peaceful, grounded, joyful, and yes to letting God shape us in this season that we are in, the
I love it.
summer season.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
let's do a quick rapid fire bonus ones. Okay,
Okay,
so
perfect.
I'm
Yeah,
also going to say yes to drinking more water and less stress.
love it. I'm going to say yes to more time in the sun.
I'm going to say yes to grace when the routine falls apart.
I am going to say yes to meals that don't require Pinterest level effort.
I love it. I'm going to say yes to memories over perfectly clean house.
I'm going to say yes to not making summer exhausting.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to say yes
Hmm.
to less pressure to do it all.
Ooh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
My list, I'm going to have to chop down, or I'm just going to give it to God and like figure it out. God,
Yes.
what am I doing
Yes.
today?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last one I want to share is I am going to say yes to slowing down enough to actually enjoy this season, to actually enjoy
Mm,
this summer. Who's with me?
me,
You
I
with me,
love
Jen?
that so much.
Okay.
We are so thankful you guys just tuned in and joined us today for our 10 things we're saying yes to this summer. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Follow us on our social media platforms and follow this blog. Or we have a blog, actually. Yeah, our blog is on our website. Check out our blog. The other thing that would be fabulous thing to do this summer is check out our merch. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, this awesome mug you all are going to want. It's this navy. It says abundantly favored with a heart on it. It's so cute. So where you can find that is if you go to abundantlyfavored.itemorder.com. So once again, abundantlyfavored.itemorder.com. Get yourself some abundantly favored merch. And we are so thankful you joined us today.
Yes. Thank you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.